Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to Following the Signs. I am your host, Mr. Lucky. I am here to introduce you to a great show to give you what you've been waiting for. Oh, I got to look at, okay, I wasn't looking at the camera, so let me start looking at the camera. So you know who I am. I'm Mr. Lucky. I just introduced myself. And I'm affiliated and associated with a nonprofit that I started. It's called Following the Signs. And it's located in Cleveland. So, you know, ask yourself, what is Following the Signs? For those of you who haven't heard of Following the Signs, I started this organization firsthand. I saw that our opportunity to enlighten our community lacked much discipline when it came to domestic and business problems, and also mental coping skills. So I felt that it was a need that immediately someone got into action and tried to make the best of this bad situation. So that's what Following the Signs is. It's a nonprofit that uses its ability to teach coping skills to enlighten the people in the community, give them a much stronger outlook of themselves, their community, and their surroundings. So what is our mission? Well, our mission is to change our community for the better by giving people useful information and showing them how to use it. So this information is needed to help get around social and dietary difficulties, and these are the things that plague our community. Our vision, my vision, our vision, is to, in time, see our community improve in areas of anxiety, emotional disorders, and learn proper selection and preparation of healthy diets. So you can join me with that. This is a mission that we're on, and we're trying to get as many people involved with it as possible. So as usual, I am broadcasting live from the Blot Podcast Network, the beautiful Blot Podcast Network. Blot is an incredible institution. It's dedicated organization, actually, and it's dedicated to helping develop the future, our future, by building business leaders of tomorrow today. And if you need more information, you can call Blot at 216-815-7300. So also, this is a bulletin. So let's see if we can find there she is. Hello, Xavier. You look well today. All right. So let's get some of our bulletins out of the way. Following the Signs is offering insightful coping skill classes of self-healing. Join us every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. All donations are accepted in good spirit. At Lucky's Charms and Supply, you can find us 6408 St. Clair Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio. All are welcome, so don't be afraid to bring a friend. Also, we can get into our Lavender Project, which is holding a raffle to help fund the project. The tickets are on sale. I've sold a few. We need to sell more. So if you're in the neighborhood, come down to Lucky's Charms and Supply and get a ticket. It's only $1. And maybe you'll be one of the lucky winners. Well, let's move on. Well, we know the weather outside is frightful. So bring your car to Touch Above Auto. If you're having any problems, Don is waiting with tires, batteries, wipers, and all kind of things. So there's friendly service and professional care. So you will know you brought your car to the right place. That's Touch Above Auto. Now, that phone number, I'm going to look that up for you before the end of the show. So Mr. Lucky is asking everyone to bring a new unwrapped toy to 5440 Marginal Road, CubeSmart, which is our Toys for Tots official drop-off destination. And deadline is December 12th till 6 p.m. So that's it for all our announcements for today. As we know, this is the Christmas season. Oh, I apologize. You know what? I didn't introduce my two co-hosts. I have with me today Brandy.
Hello.
Brandy and Benita. So you remember them from
our... How are you guys doing?
Yeah, so you remember them from our last show. So they're wiser and they're smarter and they're better now than ever before.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to start this show off like I haven't had an opportunity to do before. Brandy has this is a Christmas season, so let's talk about it. Christmas is a time when everything is haywire. Everything is off the chart. Homicide rates go up, murders increase, drug overdose happen. And why? This is because of the burden that happens at this time of year. A lot of us look at it as a holiday, and I think it is definitely that. But more importantly, we need to start looking at it as a holy day. And in that holy day, instead of like in a holiday, it's time to give gifts. A holy day is gifting gifts. One of the differences is when you're gifting gifts, you're not really looking for anything in return. You're doing it from the kindness of your heart. At this time of season, Christmas season, we are observing a lot of great events, and we're also seeing bad events, right? Things are happening all around us. And we need to understand that the only way we can get around these things is we're going to have to understand them, or we can get around them another way. We can work as hard as we can and make our future bright for ourselves. So these are the only two ways. But everyone is looking everyone is looking in their box of useful tools, responsible solutions to decide which tool can help rid them of their problems. So, at this time of giving, all of us are dealing with many burdens. The burdens of financial, there's health burdens, there's mental issue burdens. And at this time of year, it's an increase in the anxieties that go along with this. So I'm going to ask Brandy, one of the things for our coping with life is having the ability to accept the things that can help us make the responsible changes in our life. So as we're talking about this season, let's use this season to represent. In other words, the reason for this season is the people that they're directing it to, which is the reason for the season is you. So to deal with this issue, I'm going to let Brandy explain to you in her own words some of the ways we can use a gift. The gift that I'm talking about, I'll let her explain it.
The gift of prayer, the gift of believing, and the gift of having faith inside of yourself. Majority of the time when it comes to Christmas and it comes to holiday, people deal with seasonal depression. So in my own terms, when I deal with seasonal depression, I usually pray, or I usually go into solitude. I do a lot of meditating and a lot of just deliverance from the despair. Majority of the time I try to write, but majority of the time I do pray. So in this instance, I will begin to say the Psalms 23 to start off this episode. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He make me lie down in green pastures. He lead me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yeah, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I will fear no evil. Thou art with me. Thy rod, thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely your goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Amen.
I say.
So can you break that down so I can get more of clarity about what you're saying? Because we're talking about gifting, and what you're saying is that, like, okay, so let me ask you a question. What in that would be your favorite verse?
In my opinion, it would be I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Basically, like how I'm saying, as in like how Christmas time people have seasonal depression. Basically, you're walking through a season of despair. You're walking through a season of, people always say Christmas is about gifting. And I mean, yes, Christmas and seasonal and Thanksgiving is about gifting, but it's about gifting of life, a rebirth within yourself and your family, and a new year.
So if we broke that down to the effect that it would have on our community, would Christmas play a part in the love that we have for our families, you think, or how would you think it would play a part?
I think it'll play a part in every aspect.
Okay.
What do you think, Ms. Bonita?
Well, actually, I would say, yes, it does. It plays a big part of family organizations and stuff like that we do, and we're spiritual first before we're anything. As mostly say, like you're being with your family, it's not gifting, it's giving, actually. It's not gifting, it's giving. And you're showing your love and affection to someone, or teaching your children how to love and show love. I would say that.
Well, gifting can be by presence too. It don't have to all have to be like a present, like a material item. It can be like gifting, like as in, gifting your presence with somebody. Sometimes you need people presence in your life to make you feel better. That's what like brings you back. It's not always really about like the material items. Like you could see somebody you ain't seen in 7 years, and they give you a feeling in your heart that nobody could give you. So
I get that.
I think you're right. I think one of the situations that had developed in our communities is that people are always looking for you to give them something. And with that being said, people carry the burden of a financial difficulty. But there's a lot that happens during this time of year. People change. And a lot of these changes happen because of the fact that there's a spirit that goes along with this time of year. And it's evident. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's there. And what I'm referring to, for me personally, to get on the same page that my co-hosts are on, I kind of sense that, okay, the first gift is to realize that the season is for the people that it references to. I just said that, and I'm repeating it. So without saying anything that would misrepresent any person's background when it comes to the things that they believe in, just referencing the word as another tool for living. And I think what Brandy and what Miss Benita was talking about is that those words are words that help to get by situations that happen when you come into the Christmas season, and it's true. It does help. And what I'd like to say is that this season of gifting is a burden. And I think that people need to realize, more importantly, that they've already received a gift. And I don't just mean a gift from a friend or from a family member, which I think is very good too. I kind of sense that if you go to the first book of Genesis and you go to verse 26, it refers to the gift of life to a human being. So anyone who out there who is depressed about life, understand that you've been given a gift, and that gift is the life that you live. That goes further to say that you've been given another gift right after that. And this is the topper. This is the gift of all gifts. It's one thing for me to let you live in my house. But if I come and tell you, now listen, I'm going to let you live in my house, but I'm also going to let you have everything in my house. You can do anything you want in my house. Treat this house like it's yours. That's another gift. I think people fail to realize that we have an opportunity to do anything in our lives that we want to do, that we can accomplish anything we want to accomplish. And I think I've listened to Miss Brandy and Miss Benita say that it's about choice. And since we have an opportunity to do all of the things that we want to do, let's keep talking about gifts. I think you're being able to see is a gift, and I think we take it for granted. We walk around like we don't have anything, but what we don't have in our pockets, we have. No, there's nowhere where you've been cheated from a secret, or someone have kept a secret from you. Everything you've been given has been wide open. It's been front door. And we need to realize that our ears are a gift. Our mouth is a gift. Our being able to talk and communicate is a gift. We've been given so many gifts. When it comes to the season, sharing with someone your gift is a part of it. Speaking with someone in a nice tone, in a regular tone with your mouth, is using the gift and giving that gift to someone. Having them to listen to you and understand what you're saying and communicate with you is a gift. Sit down sometimes, silence is golden, and listen with your ears, the gift that you've been given, the ability to do, which is to listen. So all these gifts were given to you. So there's no need for us to be depressed. There's no need for us to go to suicide because we don't have any money. It doesn't make sense. There's something that happens around this time, and I don't know. I want Miss Brandy to help me with this. There's something that happens around this time. For one thing, there's a spirit, and this. Look, I'm scared of these things too, but we have to realize that what we're talking about here at Following the Signs, what we do is we give you tools. We show you things, maybe ideas that you don't know that you can use to help you cope with tomorrow, to help you cope with every day. You follow me, Miss Brandy?
Mm-hmm.
You understand where I'm at? So one of them, I like you girls to help me with this, you young ladies. One of the tools that we have is, families start communicating better with each other around this time of year. I don't know why, but it happens. And I want to say one step further that this season is a season of connection. It's a time to connect. When a person says Merry Christmas to you, they just opened up to you. I mean, if you were looking for a job or you were looking for some way to help yourself and somebody walk up to you and say, Merry Christmas, they're looking for you to say Merry Christmas back. So that's an opportunity for you to talk to someone. It's an opportunity for you to be loving to someone. That's one of the things that happen. Another thing, too, is your neighbors start looking like friends around this time of year. You'll walk outside and your neighbor will be there. Hey, how you doing? And that's an opportunity to connect when you don't have a job, when you want to help someone and make a little money raking their yard or shoveling their snow. We got to look at this season. It's the spirit of connection. For all of you out there who are looking for something, this is the time of year to connect with it, because everyone right now is looking to give. And they're looking to give from the gifts that Brandy and Miss Benita and what we just talked about. It's not a gift that you give in a box. It's the gift that you've been given by the word. And that word is prevalent when you look at your children and you see that what happens with that gift is the outcome are those children. And then there's an opportunity to grow and to show them what their gifts are. Mm-hmm. There's another gift I'd like to bring out too. Our community, we started looking at the times, as not just for a holy day, but we look at these things as not for a holiday, but for a holy day. When we look at this time of year as a holiday, we tend to see where it's camouflaged, it's glittered, it's covered with a tree, and that. But when we look at the gifts that we've been given, we see it more now as a holy day. Can you help me with this? I'm trying to get somewhere, and I hope I'm getting there. Help. Oh.
Well, yeah, I would say, you're looking for great peace, and you have love to give and to show the law of I would say Psalms for one thing. And nothing you should be offended of if you follow and cherish the laws, and you can live with no fear and with great peace. So, yeah.
Because the spirit is within you.
All the time.
Yeah, like the spirit of like the Merry Christmas, the spirit of the gift that you're giving to others with communication, or the gift of touch.
With your family that you have too.
Yeah, that's all within inside of you. Like how you were saying, like people be real depressed because they can't buy gifts, and I don't really think all the time it's really about being depressed about buying gifts. I think it'd be morally about some people really don't have family, whether they deceased or they just feel alone. And I think that's why I like the little suicide, and people talk about like how sad they are because they feel as if their family not united as one.
And I think that united as one part is very important too, Miss Brandy, to elaborate on what you're saying. Sure, it's a time for connection and it's a time for family, but it's also a time that you can be put in a bad situation if you're not careful.
Or reflection, of the time, all the stuff.
Yes, and can put you in a bad place. So what do we do about that? Well, there's symptoms that happens, and we need to kind of be careful about those symptoms. When you're dealing with people, you need to have conversations with them about family, but not just your family, but when they communicate with you, they talk about their family too. Now, when you have that going back and forth, there's not a opportunity to do harm to you, no more than just to talk and to bring out points about our family that were maybe amusing or to some extent even sad. I think it's very important. I think also we need to look for in our community when we talk to people, the wide eyes that come with this time, the sparkle in their eyes when people look and they talk to you. You can see it. Now, once you see that description of a person when they talk to you, you know they're not trying to take something from you, that the spirit that they feel is genuine and it's reflecting on them and it's reflecting on you. So these are some of the signs, the symptoms that we want to look for when we're dealing with people this time of year. We start talking about taking our family on trips. We started talking about taking people places that we normally wouldn't take them, and just to have them around us, to feel that spirit. Now we know that once that happens, the child is not going to try to take advantage of that situation and blow it all out of proportion and ruin your day. And now you just crazy now because the kid is really acting disturbed. Okay, so that's what another feeling that comes along with this time of year. We take conversations this time of year to heart. When we have a conversation with a person, they're not going to do anything to hurt you. When you talk to them and you can see that they're feeling what you're saying.
It's with love.
It's with love. that's a way of opening up that door and also not putting yourself in a position where you are going to go and want to do something harmful to yourself because of that. So we feel another symptom of this, and I'm going to stop and get on something else, but there's a feeling of being compelled to go beyond our means, where normally we wouldn't get out of the bed or we wouldn't be able to, want to do anything. We'll go beyond our means. We'll get up and we'll do something special. We'll go that extra mile for someone this time of year. And that's what happens when we're gifting. And when we use the gift that we were given to exercise that gift for other people. And I think it's very important that we realize that this is the time of year that happens to us, and we need to take a time to sing it. A lot of times singing, we do. Dancing, we do. This is a definite sign that things are going good, especially in the house. When kids start singing Christmas songs or just walking through the house and humming a tune, or just walking around dancing and jumping around. Of course, everybody around this time wants to do work. Mommy, can I take the garbage out? Can I take this out? Can I do this? Everybody wants to do something because they want to feel special, and they want to feel that someone is taking time to acknowledge them.
And they want to get their Christmas gift early.
So I'm going to let Miss Benita tell us something, and I'm going to let Miss Brandy tell us something, and I'm going to just sit back and I'm going to learn some things right now.
Okay. Well, I've learned that it's like 116 verses of Psalm, and Hebrews, theirs only was like in AD 1534 AD, and Jews were up to 66. And from 66 to 73. But the Jews and Hebrews, they had only a certain amount. Like the Jews had 66 and the Hebrews had 73.
Okay, explain what it is you're really saying, and then can you connect that with how a community member could, or a person, or a single woman or man can use that information?
Several books of the Old Testament are written by people unnamed. Tradition doesn't identify the authors: Joshua, Kings, Esther, or Job. Plus, many of the books with traditional authors assigned to them were likely penned and edited by other people. For example, while Jonah is the traditional author of Jonah, there is a good case to be made that some later scribes wrote this satire and with compassion for God, the rebellious prophet, and the repentant cows. The church has been roughly consistent in assigning others, or at least names of authors, to Book of New Testament, even works that are technically anonymous with the Gospels were so important that early church leaders consistently assigned their authorship to either the same tradition person or a small group of candidates. For instance, like the Hebrews is a glaring exception of authorism of the book of debated for centuries. Granted that there seems to have always been a large group of Christians who doubt Simon Peter wrote too, but oh boy, I can't get this word right. But that pseudepigraphy is a whole other ball of wax. And then it's another thing. The word Trinity has never been mentioned in the Bible. Most Christians believe that God eternally exists in the three persons, which is the Father, the Son, and Jesus Christ of the Holy Spirit. And all three are referred to as divine in Scripture.
Okay. It sounds like, if I'm hearing you correctly, if I may add something to it, you're asking that the scriptures are identifiable to every need that community is feeling, and that the word that you're reading is coming from an area that is uncharted by a lot of people in the community. And I'm glad that you gave them that. I'm glad you gave them that opportunity to hear. That was very well put. So this is where we are. We need to understand that everything about life is energy, and that this is a season where our energy is in demand. Well, we need to realize that this holiday feeds energy. And coming from this holiday moving forward, we should be putting ourselves, our families, our children in a position of a high energy from the feeding that we give them during this time of year. Mm-hmm. It's simple to understand that the gifts are gifts of the human anatomy is the gift. Also, I would say that to be heard and not be here, there's other people that received the same gifts once it was given. It's hard to say that, but it's true. I guess we could say that in a state of loneliness, maybe God gave the gift and he also received the gift at the same time. But we can't take away the fact that this gift that we have of life has been already given. There's nothing for this holiday that could be more valuable than the gifts that we have, the gifts that was given to us in Genesis. Being able to have all types of herbs to eat, being able to walk amongst the animals, to be able to communicate with the insects. These are gifts. These are gifts that during this time of year, we need to elevate and perpetuate and put these gifts in the face of people who feel depressed and deburdened and feel down and are looking for something that they don't have. Because what I'm trying to say too, in other words, is you've been kept nothing a secret from you. Everything about this life is right here in living color. And these opportunities that we have are choices. And even that we were in a ability to have these choices, they were a gift too, because we don't necessarily have to be able to have choices. So all of these things compound to a holy day, and it doesn't have to be on the 25th. Every day that we wake up is a holy day. It's a holy day because we recognize the gifts. We recognize the opportunities that come from the gifts and the ability that we have to transmit these gifts to our children so that they can perpetuate a growth. We need to keep feeding this energy that comes along with this season, the spirit. It's a twinkle in the eye. It's an opportunity for us to connect, that doors can open up. And this is where following the signs comes in at. You know, this conversation that we're having is an opportunity to get everybody involved in what we're feeling right now. And sure, you know, there's people out here that's going to commit suicide. There's people out here that's going to overdose. You know, there's nothing we can do about that. Some things are meant to happen. That's going to happen. There's nothing we can do about it. We want to save the lives of the people who may be feeling they are in that or heading in that direction. We'd like you to see that from what we're talking about here, following the signs, or if you happen to come in on Wednesdays to our class, you'll see that the gifts are inside of you. They've been given to you already. I think that's very important. So what do you say, Brandy? We don't have any smiles. What do you say, Brandy?
What I'm going to say is that is true. The gift is inside of you. Majority of the time, we always look for signs and look for synchronicities and look for everything else. But majority of the spirit is inside of you. Majority of the source is inside of you. You are the determination of your destiny, no matter what holiday it is. You should try to always give a better vibration or be happy during the holidays, even if you're trying, just because, you know, someone is looking up to you and someone is looking for that. They're looking for some type of happiness, even if they're not happy. Whether you get a gift, give a gift, you could be the gift.
There you go.
So it's just that's what people are looking for.
That's important. And I think what you read when you read that prayer, I think the first part of it is, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Okay, so now I can go back over that since I know how it's one of the most popular Psalms. And I would say that there's another gift. To have a shepherd is being gifted by a force that normally maybe it wouldn't happen that way. So we do have gifts, and we need to recognize them. We've already been given the gift of Christmas, and we need to carry on these holy days and recognize the holiday season as a spirit, a good spirit, a great spirit. So this is what Following the Signs does, and I want to see you again next week, where we can probably, well, I won't be so nervous on that one. And because this is a very touching time for me, and it kind of brings out a spirit. I want to make sure that people understand that this is no time to take your life. This is a time to be the life. It's the time to open up. So this is me, Mr. Lucky, and I'm still here with Brandy, Buddy Brandy, and Miss Benita Armistead.
How are you guys?
And so we'll be back. Hopefully, we'll be back next week. Well, we definitely will be back next week for another episode of Following the Signs.
Amen.
And also be sure that you get to Touch Above Auto. You can look it up. It's Touch Above Auto, 2530 Hamilton Avenue. It's a good place to take your car.